So today we have something interesting about the story of Warzone. If you watched my video yesterday, you would know that yesterday new intel was added into Warzone, and it seems like new intel is either going to be added weekly or every 2 weeks into Warzone and into Modern Warfare. And the cool thing about this intel is it actually progresses the story of Warzone every single time the intel is added in. And I think that's a really cool way of adding to the lore of Modern Warfare and the story of Warzone. But the thing is you have to find the intel, and finding the intel sometimes can be incredibly easy and sometimes a little bit more difficult. So what I'm going to do is whenever this intel is added into the game, I am going to make a video, first of all, showing you where the intel is, and then on top of that, breaking down what this means for the story of Warzone. And if this is something that you guys enjoy and want to see continue whenever that intel is added in, all you got to do to show me is hit the like button on this video, and the more likes these video gets, the more likely I will be to do this every single time intel is added in. So as far as today's video, what we are going to be doing is first of all breaking down the locations of the new intel. That way you can get them for yourself, and when you do, you get XP, level up your character, and you also get to see what is next for the story. Speaking of which, the second thing we're going to do in this video is completely break down the story and what this intel actually means for the story. And these pieces of intel are much more confusing than the original pieces of intel as far as the story goes. And it's actually pretty important for what is next for Warzone and what is actually going to change on the map going forward. There's some pretty big information here, so without further ado, let's dive into it and start by looking at the intel location. So the first set of intel that we got was called Fractured. The second one is called Hunting the Enemy. This one's description is begin the hunt for Zakhaev. And the very first piece of intel that we have, and the description is find the location in the message Ghost sent you, with a picture very clearly of the Chernobyl pool that is found just to the south of Storage Town. So, to find this piece of intel, all you got to do is go to the pool to the south of Storage Town. All you're going to do is go inside, go in the middle door by the pool, go upstairs, walk around until you find a filing cabinet, and inside the filing cabinet, you will find your first piece of intel. This one is by far the easiest to find. The second piece of intel, the description is SIGINT was relayed from airport military wing, and the image that you get here is Zakhaev is behind this. Need to know how. SIGINT relayed from Arm 4 military wing, West Airport tarmac, start there. So again, I found this one relatively straightforward. First of all, SIGINT is Signals Intel and Arm 4 is Armistice 4. Those don't really matter for the finding of this piece of intel. Essentially, the part is the West Airport tarmac and the military wing. So near airport, there is a bunch of military tents and military buildings. The one that you are going to be looking for here is the one that is closest to the downed airplane. Inside one of the little portable buildings, you are going to find a desk with a computer at it. That is where you find the next piece of intel. The third piece of intel is communication interference tracked to a western bunker. And then when you view the intel, this one is really straightforward. It actually highlights bunker number 3 on the map. And for this one, what you are going to do is you're going to go to bunker number 3, go underground, and then underneath the ground, you're going to once again find a computer, and the next piece of intel will be found on that desk. The next piece of intel is probably my favorite and coolest one to actually find. So this one's description is an enemy laptop could supply intel. And then when you read this one, it says Zakhaev is accessing bunkers. Laptop could supply intel. Need a solid perk to hack in. So what the hell does that mean? So the need a solid perk to hack in actually means that on the class that you are using in either Plunder or Warzone, you actually have to be using a specific perk. That perk is Spotter, because this is the perk within multiplayer that you actually use to hack things like C4, proximity mines, claymores, and things like that. Essentially, it is a hacker perk. Now, once you have this on your class, what you are going to do is go right back to where you found the previous piece of intel at Bunker 3. You're going to go down, and in the exact same spot, you can now hack that laptop and get the next piece of intel. honestly, I hope they do more stuff like this regarding the pieces of intel. I think honestly this was pretty damn cool. So once you hack the laptop, it says a meeting took place downtown and you get a picture of a location. The important part of this picture is the BCH4 building, aka the broadcast building that is found downtown. You are going to want to go there, but you're not going to want to go in the BCH4 building. You're going to want to go into that little room beside it. In that room, you are going to find a whiteboard, and on that whiteboard, you get your next piece of intel. There is an important part to this room, but we're going to look at that when we look at the story of these pieces of intel. So the description of this one is the enemy wants to catch a train. Well, the reason why you know this is because you find a sticky note on the board that says train 1930 express or 7:30 p.m. express. Now, this is where things get confusing, because to find the final piece of intel, you have to go to the train station, and you are not looking for a specific train. You are looking for the board inside of the train station that displays all of the train times, and when you walk up to it, you can get the last piece of intel, and this one says, learn the status of the 1930 Express, and when you look at the piece of intel, it is the exact same board that you find inside of the train station. This board is incredibly important. It's in Ukrainian, so we got to translate a little bit of things when we actually look at the story. But first, let's understand what this story actually means. And for that, we have to originally go back to the first pieces of intel found previously. So there's really only 3 different things that we have to look from the fractured set of intel. So first of all, the very beginning of this intel tells us that at the very beginning of the attack on Verdansk, the broadcast station and the people were told to get out, and that is why they were sent in the second piece of intel to the airport, which they were going to evacuate. Now, as it turns out, what you find out is that the airplane with all of the citizens of Verdansk that was leaving the area was actually shot down, hence the fallen airplane near military base. Now, all you need to know for the rest of this is at the very end of the intel, we find out that Zakhaev's plan is in motion. They thank the Lion for his support, and he may return to Urzikstan. Now, this broadcast or this message is sent from Al-Qatala specifically to the Lion to tell him to evacuate from Verdansk. Now, even to this point, we don't exactly know what Zakhaev's plan is. We know the first part of it was to turn armistice against each other. But as of right now, all we know is that at the end of the set of first intel, the Lion was told to go and return to Urzikstan, aka Khalid al-Assad or Hadir Karim was told to go back to Urzikstan. Now keep this in mind moving towards the second set of intel. We know that Khalid al-Assad cannot leave Verdansk via an airplane because all airplanes leaving Verdansk are being shot down. Hence the entire first set of intel. Airplanes can't leave. And this is where we get into the second set of intel. So the first piece of intel was sent to us by Ghost, and you find it inside a filing cabinet. So when you find this piece of intel, you find out that Zakhaev is behind this, and this message is sent by Sigint and relayed from an Arm 4 military wing by airport. Now, thanks to the Season 4 teaser, we actually know who Sigint is. It's Signals Intelligence, but the person working for Signals Intelligence is none other than Nikolai. It is shown in the bottom left-hand corner at the very beginning of the Season 4 teaser. So, Nikolai sent you this message, and when you find his message, it tells us that his intelligence or his messages that he is sending you is being interfered from Bunker 3. Now, when you actually go to Bunker 3, you find a computer there and it needs to be hacked. So you put on the spotter perk. When you go there again, you then hack the computer, and when you do so, you find out about a meeting between Zakhaev and other people downtown Verdansk. When you go there, right beside the BCH4 building, you find a meeting room with a whiteboard. Now, the important part about this room is that on the side wall of this room, there is an Al-Qatala flag hanging, which tells us that it's not just Zakhaev there. The leader of Al-Qatala is also there, who we know as the Lion, aka Khalid al-Assad, which means he has not yet left Verdansk. Now on the whiteboard, you find a sticky note, and this sticky note shows us the train 1930 express, in other words, the 7:30 p.m. express train leaving Verdansk. Now, when you go to the train station, check out the board. You then see a full board with a bunch of different trains, including the 1930 train, aka Train 134, and everything written on this board is in Russian. Now, luckily, I have translated this whole thing. Also, a subscriber made an image for me, sent it to me on Twitter. I really appreciate that. And it has the entire board translated. So this is the train schedule, and as you can see, there's several different trains. Across the top, we have time, train, destination, status, and Perton, which I think is just another word for platform. So if we look at the specific train that we need to be looking at here, the one that we have is the 1930, which is also train number 134, and it says the destination is express. Now, the thing that you have to understand about the destination column is it doesn't actually mean destination like Seattle, Las Vegas, a specific city or area. It actually means the type of destination. So you'll see under that column, international, regional, local, or express. The train that we're looking at is express, which means it's a non-stop train to a specific location. Now, as far as the status of that train, it is canceled. Now, what does this mean for the story? What this means is that Khalid al-Assad cannot leave. The train that he tried to leave on, the 1930, aka Train 134, is canceled, which means Khalid al-Assad is still in Verdansk. Now, I do have a couple of questions revolving around this. First of all, we still don't know what Zakhaev's full plan is. We know he wanted Armistice to turn against each other, and he successfully did that. But we don't know the rest of the plan, whether the nukes are involved or anything like that. The second thing we don't know is if Zakhaev was trying to leave with Khalid al-Assad or not. My best guess is he wasn't. It was just al-Assad that was trying to leave to Urzikstan. The third question we have is, what does Urzikstan have to do with this? As we saw in the Season 4 cutscene, Urzikstan was on the map in a relatively close distance to Verdansk. So is this a hint that there's going to be another Warzone map as Urzikstan coming to the game? Is Khalid al-Assad just going there and it's just going to be in cutscenes? At this point, we don't know. Now, finally, and most importantly, I truly believe that this intel is actually a hint as to what is going to happen to the Warzone map. With Season 4, we had a couple of train tunnels that were added in various locations. So I think this is hinting is that trains are going to be coming to Warzone that move around the map in various ways. Now, we do know that the train that al-Assad was getting on, the 134 on Platform 4, was supposed to be going to Urzikstan. How that will play in the story, we'll have to wait to find out. And I think we'll find out with the next set of intel, so either next week or the week after. So for now, that is the story that we have for the intel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see this continue as more and more intel is added, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, like what you see, want to stay up to date on everything, want to be a part of the road to 1 million subscribers, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on, and let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments. But as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard, and I want